It's hard to be utterly wrong. Yes. When we don't see our own mistakes, we make mistakes and think we are doing the right thing. And this is hidden from us, from our eyes, from our understanding, from our own perception. Others see and even try to point out the error to us, but for some reason we counter them. We think that people are teasing us, that they are the ones who are wrong, but deep down we are the ones who are wrong. And this is hard because it can cost us a lot. A lot. And the psalmist himself, King David, was no stranger to this fact. Look at what he said on Psalm 19. A confession, a declaration followed by a sincere prayer. Look what he said on verse 12. Who can understand his errors? Who can understand his errors, their own errors? Cleanse me from secret faults. David was aware that he had mistakes that were hidden from himself. Then he prayed and asked God to cleanse him. Cleanse me from secret faults, the ones I haven't seen. Cleanse me from them. This is a very wise and important prayer that few say. The prayer that asks God like this: Lord, show me where I'm wrong, how I'm wrong, cleanse me of my mistakes, deliver me from my mistakes that are hidden from me. It is an important prayer to be said, that we all who want to live in a better situation, we want to evolve, we want to improve in every sense, we must say it. You must be aware that we make mistakes, and often make mistakes without knowing, being aware of what we are doing. So it is a wise and humble prayer of recognition of our limitations. Cleanse me from secret faults, my faults. He continues praying, keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. In other words, from pride. Guard your servant. It is interesting, this part of the prayer, because there is a contrast. Am I right? Because on one side we have the presumptuous sins, which comes from pride, something that is sovereign. But the servant, definition, it's not sovereign. He is a servant. He has a Lord above him. So when he prays and says, also from presumptuous sins, it is interesting the way he contrasts these two things. Because usually you think on a servant as in a humble position, so he shouldn't be proud. But he reveals that even a servant can be proud. Pay attention, you who call yourself a servant of God, whether men or women, pay attention, because even in the servant position, we may get proud, think that we are something. And it's not hard to understand this. For example, when we lived in England and we were familiar with the English British culture of the royal family. Back in those days, Queen Elizabeth, there's not even one day that there's no news about the royal family. Queen, king, princess, prince. And in the palace, there are the members of the royal family, and in the palace, there are all those who serve the royal family. So there, it's quite usual when a business, a store, when someone provides a service or a product, is hired by the royal family. It doesn't matter if it is changing the door locks or to paint the gate of the dog's house, it doesn't matter. So this business person, this merchant, is granted a seal when advertising their service or product to say in service of the royal family. They now have a seal on their letter papers or on their signature on an email or on the logo of their company in service of the royal family. And that, it is a desired seal that people puff up their chests and they say, I was hired to serve with my product or service the royal family. I'm sorry for laughing, but it is precisely this that the psalmist is talking about. Also from presumptuous sins, for having served or doing something for his Lord, and he thought he was the one, better than the others. And he shouldn't, because he's a servant. All honor and glory to the Lord. But sometimes the servant wants to take some of the glory to himself. And is when pride becomes their Lord, as he concludes the prayer saying, keep back your servants also from presumptuous sins, let them not have dominion over me. In other words, pride can become their Lord. They stop serving their Lord and start serving pride. They start to live to serve their pride. Without realizing it, they change masters, lords. Isn't that strong? How many? They started so well, serving God. They started well, in a position of servant, whether to God or others, because we all serve someone. The wife must serve the husband the wife, the children, the parents, the children, everyone, at work, in the company. All of us, we must have this servant position, because there's only one true Lord, which is God. All the others are servants. But how many? They allowed the pride to take over their hearts, starting well, but ending badly because of pride. So he says this prayer and asks, in this awareness, maybe I'm becoming proud without realizing it, I'm sinning. So he asks God to deliver him from these sins. And he concludes the prayer saying, then I shall be blameless, and I shall be innocent of great transgression. In other words, the consequence of eliminating pride, the consequence of eliminating hidden sins is the ability to be sincere, to be transparent, to be cleansed, which is what impedes many from being sincere, the pride. They know they are wrong, but the pride does not allow them to assume their mistakes. Pride leads them to defend their mistakes, to justify themselves. No, but I did this because of that. So-and-so made a mistake against me. They see others' mistake, but they don't see their own. They are hidden. Hidden why? Because of the pride there. pride that hides the sins. So this is a prayer that is worth it when you are thinking like this. I have no words to pray. I don't even know how or what to pray for. I'm not inspired. I don't know what to say. I ran short of words. What should I pray? What should my prayer be? If I lack words, remember Psalm 19, the end of it, and say this prayer here. Cleanse me from secret faults. Keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins, that them not have dominion over me. Then I shall be blameless, and I shall be innocent of great transgression. This prayer should be with us. And if you have this attitude of humbleness, of allowing God to show you your mistakes, sometimes God will reveal your mistakes to you. It will dawn on you and you will say, wow, I was wrong and I didn't know. Sometimes God will give you this vision, and at other times He will use others to point out your mistake. And you must be humble to listen to them, to listen to your wife, your husband, your pastor, your boss, your employee, maybe to listen to your enemy. Yes, the hardest is to admit that our enemy is wrong. It's hard, right? But if you have this humbleness in your heart, God will reveal that to you, and you will be cleansed from great transgression. You will not make mistakes that will doom your life. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.